Good evening, full time at the Amex, and it is Manchester City 4, Brighton 1. That is the exact same score, of course, from when we won the league there a couple of seasons ago, as pointed out by Alistair Mann. And of course, Riyad Mahrez getting on the score sheet there at the end. Here to give us all their thoughts is Paul Dickoff and Michael Brown. Thank you for joining us. Michael, kind of a game of two halves, really. It definitely felt like we kind of dominated the first, as we said, at half time. Come the second, Brighton actually kind of felt like they were on top for most of it.
Well, it was one of those at half-time, wondering what type of reaction Brighton would have, and it was a positive one. It was full credit to the manager. They got the ball down, they created opportunities, they pushed Manchester City back and created good chances. So give them some credit. I think Manchester City obviously travelled in the week. You look at the team's performance in the week, it was incredible, the amount of work rate they put in. First half, exceptional again, pressing, and maybe just a little bit sort of off the pace slightly in the second half. But full credit, right at the end, kept going and get that goal from Riyad Mahrez. And it was a wonderful team performance overall to get the result.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, you know, we got the goal there at the end, but do you think Pep will be a little bit disappointed with that second half showing, or was it just actually quite resilient of them?
I think if you take into consideration, like Brownie said, they're travelling midweek, they're travelling down there again. But looking at the first half performance, they would have been over the moon with that, you know, because they were exceptional. Then Brighton, you got to give them credit, you know, they came back into it. They caused us a lot of problems. But then, you know, before the game, we're talking about the squad depth and squad strength. You know, we bring Fernandinho on, and then we bring Kevin De Bruyne on and Riyad Mahrez. And when Kevin and Riyad came on, it put Brighton back in the back foot a little bit, you know, because they were getting on top, they were creating chances. Yeah. They got the penalty, got their goal, putting us under a lot of pressure. But when you can bring players like that on to slow the game down and kill the game a little bit, you know, it's just an embarrassment of riches sometimes. But going away from home, you know, scored a load midweek in Bruges, 4 goals again today. Yeah, you know, so I don't think Pep will be too unhappy about it. No,
not at all. Let's speak then about the penalty that was given, and of course the goal that we conceded then, and they'll be gutted not to keep a clean sheet. It was, of course, a penalty, I think, but there was a question as well whether there was maybe an offside slightly before it in the build-up, but we're just not sure whether kind of it was too earlier on for it to be given, I guess.
Well, you can see it was slowed down. VAR looked at it, and he clearly wasn't in an offside position. The game goes on, 6 more passes, and then you go, and then the penalty is given. Ederson will be disappointed. And when we've seen the replay back, you're thinking, well, offside position, he's going to get away with one here, and it's going to be given, and ultimately it hasn't. We're waiting for clarification why that is, but I'm sure all the Manchester City supporters will be saying, you know, he's in an offside position. Why is it not? Yeah. VAR's there for all to see. And these are the things we still need a little bit of clarity on.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the fact that it showed you on the TV screen, you know, that went all the way back to that VAR had obviously looked at it. Whether they think that the games went on a little bit too much after it, but you know, talking about clarification, I don't think anybody knows what the rules are. I think the people that make up the rules don't even know what the rules are half the time, you know. So, but Ederson will be disappointed now he gave the penalty away, you know, because he was Laporte was covering, he was going away from goal as well. But I just think Ederson just wanted something to do more than anything else.
Yeah,
I think that's the difficulty. Do you know, for a goalkeeper, and you control the game so much. He'd had a couple of efforts, didn't he, to save comfortably, some good handling. Seen some fantastic balls from Ederson. He zings them out to right back, etc. He likes that cross-field one, but he will be disappointed. I've seen him do that once or twice, and it comes down to that concentration. And he'll be disappointed. The standard he sets, he realises, you know, it's easy sat here. You've got 1 second to make that decision, and he thinks, "Oh, I've got it." And ultimately, he hadn't. And you have to stay where you are. You've got to think: is there a danger from the opponent? Is he in a good position? He had cover, as we said, from Laporte, and he didn't need to do that. So it was a one sort of bad thing from the whole game.
Yeah, I think the encouraging thing after that as well was game management and seeing out the game. You know, because the Brighton crowd were up for it. Brighton were putting a bit of pressure on, but we just killed the game a little bit after that, you know, and took the sting out of it a little bit more. Whereas maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that pressure, that intensity might have got on top of us a little bit, and we might have crumbled underneath it. But this team doesn't do that anymore.
No, and especially in that stadium, I think Alistair Mann commented on it as well. You know, the Brighton fans were really kind of bringing an atmosphere and being that 12th man. So all the credit there. Then, of course, as you say, saw the game out, and you could see Phil Foden pushing hard to try and get his hat trick, having a few shots, and then actually didn't get his goal, but then came up with the assist for Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, look, he was obviously desperate to get it, especially the last 10 minutes. You know, and you know, he was had a few shots where sometimes he normally would have passed it because he's got great vision. But when we won the ball back, obviously Fernandinho's played him in. I actually thought he wanted to shoot again, but he showed great awareness to pick Riyad out, and then it was a fantastic finish again, just to kill the game off. But Phil was outstanding today again.
Yeah,
he got a couple of goals, one for Tuesday, whatever.
that one,
yeah,
whatever
one it is. But he'll take that, and to get another couple of goals. The form he's on at the minute is fantastic. 2 goals, another assist. He just keeps getting better and better.
Really is. I mean, he was given the man of the match, and actually it's been echoed on kind of from you guys at home who've been sending us messages on Twitter and on WhatsApp. I mean, Jay on Twitter said, Foden, what a player. Eastside said, Silva, Grealish, Foden. Jamie on Twitter said, Foden is on the same level as Mbappe and Haaland. And we also had... a lot of people talking about Bernardo as well, which I think was quite key, because you had Toomey on Twitter says Bernardo and Foden. RXH on Twitter says Bernardo is just unstoppable. And Carl says having Foden and Bernardo Silva in the same team should just be illegal. They both were phenomenal, weren't they, today?
It's the work rate. I think any young player who's growing up, who's got ability or wants to see what football is all about, yes, you've got to have that flair, that sort of little bit of magic that these two players have got. We're actually laughing, weren't we, and actually watching the second half. Bernardo getting to an area, whizzes it inside, and it's fabulous. But it's the work rate. It's not. You don't get anything for free. It's the pure application of these players, this desire, dedication, and they just keep running through situations time after time, and that's why they are getting these rewards. Wonderful to see.
I know Phil got man of the match, possibly because he's goals and the assist, and rightly so, but I thought Bernardo pushed him really, really close.
Yeah.
I thought it was outstanding from start to finish. In the second half, when it did get back to 3-1, there was a couple of occasions where he won the ball back, and he just slowed it down, slowed the tempo of the game down. But then the next time he got it, he took the whole team up the pitch. He ran 40 yards up the pitch with the ball to take the pressure off again and put Brighton in the back foot. And
see him pressing the goalie. He was pressing the goalie out to the left back, wasn't he?
I would love to see what his running stats are, because they must be off the scale.
I know, I wouldn't mind his lungs, because he just really doesn't seem stopping. It was the great point you made, Michael, that, before the game, actually, which you forget is, you kind of sometimes do that running, you get the ball and you're a little bit tired. I mean, I like blowing at 5-a-side when you've done it. But like you say, he has the quality and the energy to then drive forward or then have a little bit of magic.
Yeah, he's got to realise that. And to be, when you're exerting all your energy and getting the ball back, and then to sort of stop, to still get away from someone, to have that little look, that little bit of composure to find a pass or to find an angle. He's playing really, really well, and you can tell with that confidence. And I think that's the key point as well, is like Pep Guardiola wants them into that rhythm so they can actually keep going. And there's nothing but, there's not, when you play Saturday, Tuesday at times, sometimes you find yourself super fit. The games just keep coming. Yes, it's the line of whereas you're a little bit tired, but at times you become seasoned and you just seem to get better and better, and the games just come and you fly through them.
Remember you saying as well, Paul, I think it was last season, talk about when you're winning as well, you're not feeling as tired.
No, that tiredness never gets mentioned when you're winning. Fatigue comes out when you're losing games and not performing well. But even when we've not been winning games, Bernardo Silva, his fitness levels are through the roof. They really are.
Well, Tino also sent us a WhatsApp. Thank you for the WhatsApp saying, guys, Bernardo is so good. And then also, I think hopefully that answered your question on WhatsApp as well, Carlo, because he wanted to hear your thoughts on Bernardo. There was another question here from Jessica, and we saw it a little bit today in parts. I think he kind of dropped off a little bit in the second half, but the Grealish, Foden, Silva partnership, and of course, actually that was kind of part of one of the goals in the first half, wasn't it? They seem to be starting to find a rhythm together. Yes, they are.
They'll understand each other's sort of positions, what's expected. Games are obviously give you different challenges, don't they? Who you're up against? Are they going to be a high wing back? Is it going to be a low block? Is there going to be a centre back that's going to come high or step through? We've seen a wonderful first half performance, and then after that, it sort of looks. You get a little bit disappointed, don't you? You think, it was a bit of a poor second half, and that's what's ridiculous.
It's the standards we set.
That's what's so ridiculous. We're watching these players do what they do. And then we're sort of trying to pick things against them. We have to sort of say the positives of they won the game, but they took it straight away. Some fabulous play, and we're into lots of games.
Yes,
and I think there's certain parts of games we've got to be not overcritical. The manager will do that. He'll explain everything what he wants and of what he expects, where they could be better. But we've got to give him a little bit of slack at times.
Yeah, absolutely. We had this question come in, slightly kind of football related, but a little bit different, from Gareth on WhatsApp. And he wanted to ask you guys, what is the best City kit you played in? Do you have a favourite?
It's going to be quite easy for me.
For you, it's synonymous, isn't it?
99. I think because what happened. I mean, at the start of that season, everybody hated that kit as well, didn't they?
The lime green one, really, It's bold.
Our choice, wasn't it? Bold.
But then as the years went on, obviously, because of what happened that day, yes, I've got to say that one.
I've still got my kit, and I can't believe how big it is. Do you know,
Well, you've still got that kit, really?
And literally, it's huge.
It was one
You
size
can't
fits
believe
all
it,
then.
is it? Yeah, literally. But then obviously you move
Heavy
on,
as
and I
well,
went
I
to
guess.
different clubs, and you start to actually get the tight fitting, and all of a sudden you're thinking, you see it in the summer, I need to do a couple of press-ups to get into this. I've seen a few off those tight kits.
Did you still got your shirt? Have you still got yours for that game?
No. Like an idiot, I nearly said something else there. And the euphoria of it all, I swapped it.
Did you?
Yeah, and do you know what? I can't remember swapping it.
Really? Yeah, he was a bit...
There's pictures, and when you watch it back, obviously when we go up and we get the trophy, and I've got it on, and then when we're all going round the pitch, I've got a Gillingham kit on, and I don't know.
Do you know what? There could be a potential City Plus documentary in this.
Well, they
finding Paul's shirt.
Well, Marathon Bet tried it last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I don't know how much I can say about it, but they did fines. So whoever I swapped with ended up selling it.
No.
And the person who sold it to doesn't want to sell it back.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, even though it...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we never know. Sit tight.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe one time.
Absolutely. I'll get it. Don't worry about that.
If we look then ahead, gents, of course, now we've got League Cup tie in the middle of the week. We travel down to London and we're going to West Ham. Do you obviously you're thinking we're going to see some changes from the team there today?
We're going to see some changes, and it's a different challenge. A West Ham side who seem to be getting in their flow. They seem to be a stronger in squad, so they can make changes and still get results, and be a tough one. Yeah. But you just look at the squad that City have. Players will be wanting to go and impress. But it's a game again. This is the cup that Pep Guardiola doesn't want to lose, and City fans expect that day out again. We talk about it so much. So it's a real difficult tie, that. And I think this is where I think Pep's really, really good of getting the right balance and the right game. He seems to just know exactly where it is.
It's going to be interesting, not just what team we pick, but what team West Ham pick as well, because David's made it pretty clear that obviously they want to finish as high up in the league, but the Europa League's high in their agenda as well, so it's how he's going to treat this game, the same as we do. But look at here, Zach Steffen, John Stones, Nathan Ake, Zinchenko, Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Riyad Mahrez. You'll probably expect all of them to start, which isn't too bad, is it?
No, it doesn't sound too bad, does it?
But then hopefully Sam Edozie, Cole Palmer, and some of the young kids who played in the last round who were outstanding as well. So it'll be interesting what sort of mix and what sort of team that both managers put out.
Game, I think is for me personally, if you're asking me, a couple of the youngsters, it's maybe a little bit a step too far if you want to go through.
Yes.
I think you need to be a touch stronger in this game. The tyre hasn't helped. It would have been different if it had been here behind us. So I just think tread carefully.
Yeah.
But how can I tell Pep? That's the thing to say.
Well, do you know what, gents? We're going to look at our cryptic City in just a moment. But first, let's hear from today's man of the match, winner, a score of 2 goals and getting the assist at the end, Phil Foden.
Phil, great win, and for 30 minutes at least, absolutely breathtaking. Was this another evening where you felt like it really clicked?
Yeah, definitely. I thought from the start we looked very good in possession, controlled the game. Sometimes when you're 3-0 up, you can drop your level a little bit. We're a little bit disappointed with the second half. The level weren't the same. But yeah, we dug in there and we only conceded one, which is really good.
So 2 goals for you. Were they both a little bit odd? Does the first one come off the defender and then you?
I'm not quite sure. I have to watch it back. The second one was odd. Yeah, it just kind of hit me on the way in. But I'll take them all. A goal's a goal to me, so yeah, I'm really happy.
How did Gabriel Jesus take the news? I think I saw you said it to him in the celebration in the corner.
Yeah, I don't think he realised, and I had to tell him that it hit me. So yeah, he didn't think it hit me.
So how do you find that role? You spoke about it before the game. Bit of a different one for you this season, basically up front.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can drop deep and get on the ball and pick the passes off. It's a new role for me, and all I can say is I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
What does the manager say to you? Does he say to you, right, Phil, you're up front? Does he call it a false nine? Do you know what I mean? What do you even call the role you're playing?
We changed it game to game. Sometimes I stay higher than normal. But with this game, how they go man to man, the aim was just drop in and try and get the ball as much as possible. And I thought we used the extra man really well when I dropped. Helped us control the game.
Do you feel like as a team you're really hitting your straps? You've had a great week.
Definitely, we're in a good run of form. But what the manager's like, we just want to keep going now for the next games and keep the level.
I just wonder, you've been in the change room, has he had a little word with you about that second half? Not you personally, the team.
I came straight here, so I haven't had a chance to be in the change room yet. But yeah, I'm sure he's gonna tell us that we could be better, and we know that ourselves we could be better. So yeah, something to work on and something to improve.
And just for you in that second half, how desperate were you for a hat-trick? You looked rather keen.
Yeah, on another day, I could have scored 3, but the main thing is the result, and yeah, I'm just happy that we got the result today.
And just the final word before you go, on the T-shirt you're wearing, that you're all wearing to support Guido, a City fan.
Yeah, we're all here for him, and that's why we wore the shirt today, to show our respect, and yeah, we're fighting with him.
Okay. Well said.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you, guys.
There we are, brilliant. And once again, from all of us at Matchday Live Manchester City, Guido de Pauw, we're sending all our love to you and your family as well at this time. I mean, you kind of said it there. We touched upon maybe what would Pep say in the dressing room, but as you say, I mean, the result was there, and there maybe be wanting to be a little bit better, but overall, nothing to complain about.
The result was there. It was a brilliant answer from Phil Foden. Actually, just move that away. Keep it while he's getting good in his answers, because this is the problem. As a young player, people exaggerate all the answers and put you under a little bit of pressure. And he was right, and I think you could see by that little smirk, wasn't it, that he knew the hat-trick was there. He was a little bit disappointed, felt the team could be better second half. I think he was spot on, and he's just maturing, isn't he, Paul?
So his answers were great there.
Yeah.
Saying that he's not been back in the changing room yet. I just batted that one off, didn't he? Because reporters try and put, put words in your mouth sometimes. Get it done. But and then when they get asked the question, what would have Pep said? What did he say? And he said, basically, he didn't have to say anything. We know ourselves as players that we let our standards drop. Yeah. And that's good. That's fantastic, especially from somebody so young. He just scored 2, got an assist in a team that's won 4-1 and still disappointed about how they performed second half.
Yeah, very, very true. And again, we just have to say thank you to Sky as well for that interview. OK, well, before we wrap up here on Matchday Live, let's take a look at arguably one of the toughest cryptic cities to date.
The most ridiculous one.
Well, I'm going to call it out here. We have a lot of assistant producers on the show. Darryl, if you're watching, these clues are tenuous to say the least.
That's Darryl. Darryl's the third one on there.
Willison, Manchester's Blue, I think said on Twitter, Phil Foden. It's not Phil Foden. But Lawrence did get it right. When we did not get it here in the show. And I can tell you,
I think Darryl was drinking his homemade brew.
Yeah,
when he thought
because it's very dubious. The correct answer, and well done to Lawrence who got this right. Ilkay Gundogan. So I'll try and explain the links to you. We should have Darryl here to answer for himself. So. And we're saying the tablets is because of if you take tablets when you're ill. Very tenuous, Darryl. We're saying the eye. Just put an eye next time. It was a real niche Star Wars clue there. That character, I believe, is called Gundo, which I think if you knew that, then maybe you'd have got it. And then, I mean, he says can. That's a tin. That's a tin. That we didn't.
You're not happy with that, are you?
I'm not. Listen,
really,
you can't
not
get.
happy
Listen,
with the tin for the
that's the most ridiculous. Don't let Darryl. You're banned from doing this.
Yeah, that's
again.
it. You can't get the staff sometimes at this club. Don't worry, I'll be sorting out streamlining the show. Listen, gents, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and your insights, and a massive thank you to all you watching at home as well. It really is a pleasure to have you joining us every week. So, of course, we're going to be back for West Ham in the League Cup middle of the week, and then I'll be back with you on Saturday for our game against Crystal Palace at home at the Etihad. Until then, I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. And do not forget, if you want to watch a game tonight, maybe go back and remind yourself what happened on this day 10 years ago. It's when the tide turned and Manchester City beat United 6-1 at Old Trafford. And since then, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we've been in control and the only team in Manchester. Thank you very much. Good night.
Situation gets even worse. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I think that we played very well.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Silva volleys it forward brilliantly. It is 6.
The most thing that concerns me most was the goals, because you never know, goal difference may count.